You ready? Hello, everyone. Today is Tuesday, February 20th, 2024, and we're going to talk about Audrii Cunningham, the missing girl from Livingston, Texas, that we've all been hearing about on the news and other creators who have covered her disappearance. There have been quite a few press conferences from police, and the last, from my understanding, the last one was with the sheriff, which I always like to hear from because, that's kind of who handles everything. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about the latest on Lena Khil, the missing then 3-year-old from in December of 2021. She went missing in San Antonio at her apartment complex. So that's what we're going to get into today. How is everyone doing? Let's see who's in the chat. Widow, good to see you. Shani, Julia T, Iris Jesse, good to see you. And of course, OG Mod, A One Way Street, and anybody else who's watching. Welcome in, welcome in. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and hit that like button and let me know what questions you have regarding, excuse me, Audrii Cunningham. I did review some of the dispatch 911 calls, the 911 dispatch for Polk County, which is where Audrii's from. And I got a few things that I thought was very interesting because there were discussions on Facebook about who called 911, all of that stuff. So we're going to get into that. Let's just go right into the nitty gritty. So, what was the first news that we received besides the Amber Alert about Audrii Cunningham? Well, from our understanding, she went missing around 7 a.m. From their understanding, 7 a.m. on Thursday, this past Thursday, which would be the 15th, February 15th. An Amber Alert went out later that evening, and family members, have come out and spoke. There were immediately Facebook posts, Facebook messages between the only suspect that we are aware of, which is Don Stephen McDougal, who is in jail for an unrelated charge back stemming from August, which I thought was insane. Like, they were just, in my opinion, trying to get him in, which is good. He needs to be detained so that they can question him. And if they can use something like that, they will. And they did. And I'm not hating them for it. So that's just how I feel. So what is the latest and greatest? I believe, from my understanding, the mother has come out. The uncle has spoke out. The uncle, I want to talk about what he said, about the online rumors and speculation. And I have a bone to pick with that a little. I understand, wild speculation is annoying and all that stuff, and I get it. But sometimes that just comes with the territory, you know what I mean? I know that Steven from Plunder, I did get this from Plunder watching her coverage, because she did a really good job diving into the details. So I did get this from her YouTube channel. Shout out to Plunder. But Stephen McDougal says to whoever it was, I definitely didn't hurt that baby. Anyone that knows me knows I didn't. And my whereabouts was right there knocking on doors trying to find video footage. Yes, of course, I got to the station and questioned all night. And I didn't do anything but what I do on a regular basis. Excuse me. So he is saying, he had nothing to do with it. He's screaming his innocence before he got arrested. And it is what it is. I mean, I think that obviously they named him a suspect and they're looking for footage specifically for his Suburban, that beat up blue Chevy. I guess because they feel like, she was the one that was last seen with him, because he admitted it. He was going to take her to the bus stop at about 6:45. So let's see what the latest and greatest is out on the news. News Nation did some updates about, everything, but I like the local news. They kind of get more information. They're on scene, things like that. So what to know about missing Texas girl Audrii Cunningham and the person of interest in this case. It has nearly been a week since she vanished from a small Texas town, Livingston, which is near Houston in Polk County. The 11-year-old child disappeared the morning after Valentine's Day after she left to catch a school bus in the small town about 70 miles northeast of Houston. Law enforcement said she never made it on the bus. Obviously, because I'm sure they talked to the bus driver, said, nope, she wasn't on there. Let me check him in chat real quick. I see some chatter. I flaked, but I'm here now. Well, that's good. No flakiness in my chat, girl. I'm glad you're here, hun. He passed charges for luring. His past charges, yes. Forgot to mention that. Enticing a child charges. And again, the assault charge from August is why he's in jail. And a lot of drug charges. Julia T., am I wrong that the mom's text with DM make it sound like she had recent prior convos with him? Well, she definitely did. That's the alarming thing. She did have conversations with him. And the 911 call, the initial dispatch recording that I have and put out there already is it gives the story of the very first moments that police were notified. That's why I always go straight to dispatch if I can, or the police scanner, to see what's going on during these moments in time. And from the jump, it's already getting wild. Like from that moment that 911 was called, it's nuts. So that was about, I believe, 5:30 to 6 o'clock was when 911 was called. And a lot of people are saying that the dad called. Well, we're going to get into that because I don't think that's true per this police scanner recording that I have. So we'll get into that. Hey, widow. So, as of Tuesday, the Amber Alert issued remained active and no one had been charged in connection to her disappearance. But again, investigators did have a person of interest in connection to Audrii's case. Here's what we know so far. So she lives with her family in a lakeside community on the eastern shores of Livingston Lake. The girl is white, 4 feet 1 inch and 75 pounds with blonde hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing a black hoodie with white lettering, black pants, black high-top tennis shoes, and a bright red Hello Kitty-style backpack. And there is Audrii. Here's the Polk County press release on Friday, which was the day after she disappeared. That was at 3 a.m. Wow. Her whereabouts are unknown, currently on scene and being assisted by the Texas Rangers, which shout out to the Texas Rangers. They are excellent at what they do. I'm proud to be from a state that has law enforcement such as the Texas Rangers, officials that work their ass off to find these babies. They really do. Chat, if you can hear me. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. I think it disconnected my StreamYards. Damn it. Or Streamlabs. Oh, wait. Okay, we're good. We're back on air. All right. So there's a picture of her. Sweet little girl. I hope that they find her alive. I'm not, it isn't looking too promising from obviously the statistics of these types of crimes. She is at the actual average age of an abduction from a predator. You know what I mean? She is the actual statistic of these horrific crimes. All right. And I'm very worried about that. But we can't always rely on those statistics. We just have to know them and keep them in mind, right? Let's keep going down. There is a lot of, I noticed that there's a lot of crime there, a lot of drugs, a lot of crime. It happens, especially in Texas. If you live around a lake, you there's going to be some drug activities. Okay, bet that there's a lot of it. And I don't know if that's the case in any other places, but I just know in Texas that's a fact, Jack. That's a fact. I don't know if they have any footage of her like around her home or him leaving. That would be interesting to see if anybody had Ring doorbell footage or any CCTV footage. Yep, the average age is 11 to go missing, be abducted by a predator, whether it be known or unknown. It doesn't matter. Just a predator. They are the victim. The average age of a victim is 11 and female. So it's very, very unfortunate. I do have dispatch of them going to the dam. Remember, that was like the first initial point of interest for them. And I do have that recording between the sheriff and a lieutenant and someone else speaking on that location. They had just got done looking at a brush fire call nearby, and they checked that out. Everything seemed cool. But then, about half a mile or so away, that's where the dam was. So I think that was a point of interest from the jump. I don't know if that's geofencing. I'm not sure. So here is a picture of them speaking, police speaking to Stephen McDougal. We all saw that footage, I'm sure. But they were speaking to him about where's Audrii? And then he backs out, and it's very awkward. It takes him like 3 minutes to just easily back out of wherever he's at. You could tell he's nervous for sure. And he should be if he has anything to do with her disappearance. So he was arrested Friday on an unrelated charge, as I said, of aggravated assault from August. He was on a $500,000 bond. Do you know how these bonds, these high dollar bonds in Texas and really anywhere they have something on you. It's not typically just slapped on you for no reason. Okay. Even if it's just speculation, like there's something going on. There's a reason why he's a main suspect. So on Monday, the sheriff said on the morning the girl disappeared, he was supposed to be dropping her off the bus stop. We do believe at this point he was the last person who has seen her. The sheriff said McDougal had been speaking with investigators, but has not said whether he dropped her off at school that morning. So is she still alive? They're obviously working to bring her home alive, but they have to, of course, piece together a timeline. That is the most crucial and important thing. Obviously, we all know this, right? $500,000. Yeah, he does look scary. No one can protect your kids better than you. Keep an eye on them, please, parents. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Chris, good to see you. I wouldn't leave my housemate with that guy. Look, it's very hard for me to even leave my kids with family members, let alone people like this. Never. So there is a $7,000 reward for information leading to the girl's location and the arrest or prosecution of anyone involved in Audrey's disappearance. Well, you might want to raise that $7,000 reward to a little bit more than that. If somebody could, if they could potentially get some more money, I bet you somebody would talk. But I mean, that's not really much. Let's put some more value in this, in my opinion. But maybe that came from like a family member saying, here, I'll give you $7,000 if we could just get whoever took her somewhere. Right? I don't know. I don't know the details. All right. So that's the latest and greatest kind of summarized. So let's play. let's play this dispatch recording I have. Let's take a listen.
Go ahead.
Those are the river southbound, south of the dam and that little inlet there. Do you have anything, new leads or any new information we can go off of?
No, sir. The last lead we got is just right down that area. I appreciate it. Lieutenant Stanley, go ahead.
Those are the river southbound, south of the dam and that little inlet there. Do you have anything, new leads or any new information we can go off of?
No, sir. The last lead we got is just right down that area. I appreciate it.
Okay, 10-4. Yeah, we're about to lose the daylight, so we're about to head back. If you need us, let us know.
10-4. Appreciate y'all coming out.
So that was the initial, from my understanding, I had to listen to a lot of scanner. Hours and hours. So that was kind of the initial, or is there anything else to lead us to another area or this area? And they said, no, not really. So I'm assuming that they searched that area of the dam very, very, very methodically. And I wonder if that's where he said that they used to go fishing, maybe, or maybe he was known to go there a lot, or she went there a lot. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm retired, so to speak, and it's boring. I miss working. Girl, don't you say that. You miss it until you have to do it. Then you're like, Jesus. I do not miss going into a corporate job. I don't miss it. I ain't going back. I don't think I could. I would if I had to, but I really don't want to, universe, if you would just like keep that in mind. Hey, Joneson, good to see you. So that is what I got for that. Let's play the 911 call, and then we're going to go into the press conference, the latest and greatest, because I have a few things I'd like to go over with what the sheriff said. Poor guy had bronchitis. I felt bad for him, the sheriff. I mean, look, we have cedar and hay and all those great pollen things coming out of the woodworks and personally whooping my ass right now as we speak. But, and it's also cold, hot right now. And it is very easy to get sick right now, for sure. All right, let's listen to the 911 initial dispatch.
Can I get around to 1 Lakeside Drive? 1 Lakeside Drive. It's going to be for a missing person. Caller states her 11-year-old granddaughter.
All right. So who called 911? Everybody said dad did or mom did. And they could have called. I mean, they could have called maybe along with someone else. But obviously, the first mention was the grandmother, which is the dad's mother, called. So let's start again.
Drive. It's going to be for a missing person. Caller states her 11-year-old granddaughter was dropped off at the bus at about 7 a.m. this morning and never made it on the bus and has not been seen since. 826. Female is about approximately 4'11", 86 pounds, blonde long hair, blue eyes, last seen wearing a dark colored jacket.
10-4.
837
Good.
Public service you, her address and his phone number.
What time does this call?
1700. Missing juvenile.
So 1700 hours, which is 5 p.m. And I think it was like 17:15 or 17:11. So we're just going to say 5. We're going to say 5 p.m. 911 was called because I guess, when she didn't get off the bus, I'm assuming school gets out roughly around 3:30, 3:45 like it is where I'm from in Texas. Let's say the bus, give it 30 minutes to an hour. We're just speculating here. She didn't come home and they were like, that's not right. I'm assuming they called Stephen McDougal and asked him, hey, did you take her to school? Did you have her? I'm sure they asked. But listen to this next part.
Called in from the county. They want us to check that address and see if she's there. It's supposed to be the mom's address. Mom does not have custody of her, has never had custody of her, and has made threats recently to kidnap her.
Hey, you text me,
So I don't know if the grandmother was told this by Stephen. Did you hear that? That she had recently made threats to kidnap her. I'm assuming that was mentioned because Stephen was talking to mom about meeting up with the daughter to see her because, she's never had custody. Obviously, you just heard that. There's been some issues, all that stuff with custody. But whatever it is, I didn't see that she was trying to kidnap her in those messages, and we'll go over them. But I thought that was interesting that that's what she mentions to the dispatcher. Let's listen to that one more time.
Custody of her, and has made threats recently to kidnap her.
hey, you text me, if you have the mom's information so I can, just on your...
And that's clear, sir. I'll send you both of their.
Okay, so they're like, well, obviously we need to talk to mom because that's not good. She was threatening to kidnap her own daughter, who, again, she doesn't have custody of. And we're going to listen to what the mom says here in a second. But it's not looking good on the front of what's being said from the jump. That is so important. People don't realize how important the initial information given to 911 is. And they're already saying, mom's trying to kidnap her daughter. Maybe she's made threats. So look at her, not look at over here, right? And I'm not saying the grandmother's trying to divert attention, but maybe Stephen's telling the grandmother rather, that go look over at her. She's the one that's been threatening to kidnap her daughter. Right? Very, very strange. So we'll take a listen to what mom says here in a second. And the uncle, there's something weird about it, in my opinion. That's just me. And what I really thought was interesting, real quick, was the Lake Livingston scanner that a lot of people were listening to. It kept crashing over and over. Killer confessed to the murder of the missing 11-year-old girl. I honestly believe that was an asshole who thought that they knew already what they believed happened and put it out there as fact. You know how that goes. Misinformation spreads like wildfire. So that is not confirmed. Obviously, the sheriff said that yesterday. Again, we'll go over that just to clarify. I thought that was weird. And I hate when people do that. It muddles. It just muddles everything. All right, let's pull up these messages. And we're going to go over this too. There was a guy on a motorcycle that was gunning it. And they were talking about going out to look for him, black motorcycle and a black helmet. So this person seems to be kind of a creeper weirdo guy who was trying to get her kids to get on the bike and go, I guess, away. I don't know. He then drove back by the house. This is weird. So I don't know if that was random, unrelated, but it's something to keep in mind because it was something that happened during that time frame, okay, of her disappearing in the same area. It's like maybe 2 minutes away. So I thought that was interesting. I wonder if this has been followed up on, and I'm also going to look at the dispatch notes or calls to see if this has been reported and when it was reported. Also, here is the enticing of a child charges on Stephen. Gross. It is from 2008. Doesn't matter. he was found guilty of enticing a child. Well, what is enticing a child in Texas? Well, we need to know that. I think it's important. What is the context of this charge? It's a person commits an offensive with the intent to interfere with the lawful custody of a child younger than 18 years, knowingly entices, persuades, or takes the child from the custody of the parent or guardian or person standing in the stead of the parent or guardian of such child. So he has a history of interfering with, specifically, from what I'm reading here, custody of a parent or a guardian. This is not new for this man to get involved in minors or a minor and custody issues. Because obviously what you're about to see in the messages between mom and Stephen are alarming. See, everybody thought enticing of a child was, somebody in a van with candy, come here, let's go, the typical. I did. But when I read the actual meaning of enticing of a child, it made a little bit more sense as to what's going on now. Always vet. That's just how you should do it. All right, where are those damn messages? Here we go. Oh, here's a picture of him if you haven't seen this one. I'm sure everyone has, but that is a scary mofo. The scariest mofo. Ugh. Here's him in 2023, September, right after that assault charge, I guess, or aggravated assault that he just got arrested for. He's looking for a couple to become friends with in the Swingers Club Facebook group. Gross. That is weird. This dude is off. Those eyes are something else. And I don't know what. Look, our babies are everything, right? And you should always vet people that you let around, even if it's just, somebody staying on your property. Of course, you're going to want to do all of the background checks you can. I obviously don't think that happened, and you need to be so careful. I mean, not like you needed a damn background check to be like sus, dude's sus, but I'm not trying to judge too harshly, but again, I kind of am. That's all I can say. I'm judging a little bit. All right. Let's pull up the messages. Sorry. Okay, so this is Stephen and the mom, Audrey's mom, speaking. It makes me, he said, like I said, I told him to talk to you, meaning the dad. So they were talking about meeting up to the mom meeting up with her daughter, Audrey, because they have a relationship problem. And I'm guessing there were issues with dad and family talking a lot of smack, maybe, or not too kindly of mom and in the past dealings with her. So, but it makes me sick to my stomach that they think that's okay. She has an innocent, fragile child mind, and them warping it with chaos is not right, man. Well, don't, but I might take you out to the dock to fish and accidentally pull up with her to fish. So they're talking about meeting up so that she can see her daughter. Stephen's going to help this woman out because, quote, I am her favorite person. This is what Stephen says. So maybe, he's just doing a nice deed. For what reason, we don't know. The one by their house? Really, anywhere. That's asking for trouble and setting me up for failure. Did she? Man. Sometimes when you have those inky feelings, you really need to listen to them because, hi, Mr. Eve, what happened? What are you trying to call me? Or did you not know I was live? I don't think I told you. Sorry. Excuse me. And don't worry, my kiddo is safe with Mama. His Mama is here. So don't be coming at me. Mr. Eve says, sorry, everyone. I've been welding. I didn't know you guys were here. Well, welcome in, Mr. Eve. Sorry, I didn't call you. It was kind of a last minute thing. He goes, not at all. I do not in any way need to be set up to lose my child even more. Those words are haunting. Lucky would lose it if he knew. And this is what she asked you to do? Quote, I'm your daughter's favorite person and she will not. Something. I can't read it. That's not good. I don't believe he was sharing his conversations with the mom with anyone. The family seemed to really want to keep her away from mom. Right. I agree. I think that's very obvious. When he puts a shirt on and a baseball cap, he blends right in. That is true. Yeah. I don't know. I hate to blast people, but I mean, it is what it is. It's public. It's your Facebook. Be careful what you share. Outstanding citizen here. And I don't know if this is just his personal Facebook. I'm assuming so. But this is giving. We just did some drugs and had some fun. It is what it is. I'm judging a little bit today. Yeah, says, yep. She will not tell. Yeah. Very, very, very alarming. So he's also selling shit like true methed up fashion. All these things, all these random things, stove, punching bag, all must go. Courtney over here says, you were the last one to see that baby. Why wouldn't you stay to wait and watch her get on the bus? Right? Straight to Final Jeopardy. So when she's reported missing, Steven says, hey, to the mom, have you seen Audrii? I dropped her off at the bus and she didn't get on and hasn't gotten home. No, Steven, one moment. Where the is my kid? I wonder if he ever responded to that. I would love to know. Probably not. Right? Cassie Matthews made a Facebook post. This is my baby girl. Please, if you've seen her, please call 911. There are some people that asked some questions about what happened that day on her Facebook post. So is he claiming to see the bus or just that he dropped her at the bus stop? I pray your baby is okay. Stephen McDougal is not someone I'd want around my little girl. This man tried to arm me. When I was 10 years old, he was a brother of my parents' friends. Oh my God. See, this is why I don't let anyone live with me, because I don't trust a soul around my kids. Preach. Preach. I pray that this little girl is okay. People like that should not be around kids. How heartbreaking. My prayers go out to the family. I pray she is found and is brought home quickly. So these are like the important initial things, right, that we always like to cover with missing children. This is a very alarming case. Now, I know that Chronicles of Olivia did a lot of coverage on the actual on-scene things, and that's great. But I don't necessarily want to put her videos out because I don't know how that creator is with those kind of things. So we're just going to go into the nitty-gritty details and the interview with mom and all that. Let's take a look. I did not watch the full interview, excuse me, with the mom. I didn't do that. So this will be my actual first time reviewing it from start to finish. Damn, that cedar's got me. Excuse me. That mountain cedar is rough. One moment. do, 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 do.
It seems like every inn that we search, it
StreamYard pulls a lot of network
just
data. Sorry.
ends with empty hands so far. And I want my baby returned.
New at 10, the mother of missing 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham speaking out for the first time tonight, praying for the safe return of her daughter.
It's been 40 hours since anyone has seen 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham.
She is at the center of an Amber Alert out of Polk County after never boarding her school bus yesterday morning. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Keith Garvin.
And I'm Candace
That's a cute dress. I just wanted to say that.
Burns. Daniela Guzman is off tonight. KPRC2's Bryce Newberry has been with investigators at Lake Livingston this evening as they're zeroing in on persons of interest in her disappearance. Bryce?
The search for Audrii Cunningham is on pause for the night. Investigators spent several hours at Lake Livingston today following leads as we learned a specialized FBI team is now involved. And tonight, for the first time, Audrii's mother talked to our cameras, sharing an emotional plea to bring her daughter home.
Dumplings Gammy says, in my opinion, I think he was going to get rid of the mom also just to make it look like she took her and ran. That is a very interesting theory. That kind of, I know it's speculation, of course, for entertainment purposes only. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty by law. But that is a very interesting theory. That makes a lot of sense. I could see why you think that.
There's not words for it. There's not one feeling you feel. It's a roller coaster.
The roller coaster of emotion started Thursday night for Cassie Matthews. Her 11-year-old daughter, Audrii Cunningham, didn't return home after school, never even made it on the bus that morning.
This is the stuff that you see on TV and you wonder, you can only imagine what the family and the parents are going through.
Last seen near her home around 7 a.m. Thursday. Investigators say family reported her missing around 5:30 p.m. Livingston ISD tells us they let Cunningham's family know she wasn't in class. Friday, the search brought investigators to Lake Livingston, where they used boats, drones, and dogs.
This is a location of interest. We are bringing in divers.
This is I believe that this is the area that kind of cuts off into, you can't get any farther down on the river right here. Maybe that was a point of interest for them because there are people who go down here and fish. I looked it up yesterday. These are kind of hot spots for fishing, but also it's easily accessible. So it makes sense that they would go down here. But I wonder if any geofencing information kind of confirms it, right?
Livingston, where they used boats, drones, and dogs.
This is a location of interest. We are bringing in divers as well. Again, this is all an effort to uncover additional leads.
The Texas Rangers, along with Polk and San Jacinto County Sheriff's offices, now getting help from the FBI, including a specialized child abduction rapid deployment team.
Ooh, the CART team. We always hear about that team. Child abduction, rapid deployment CARD team. I've done a few videos rather on, what the training manual says back in 2011. Yeah, the DOJ released that, but of course there's updated training manuals that we're not going to get, but that was released. And the CARD team is, again, a small number of highly trained, highly educated people from around the globe, around the country, who have experience in missing persons, specifically missing children. So I'm glad that they're involved.
Those teams, according to the FBI, have a proven track record in crimes against children investigations, especially cases where a child has been abducted by someone other than a family member.
Is it the belief that she was abducted?
I know that term implies that. We're not drawing any conclusions right now.
Investigators say they have persons of interest, but are keeping many details private.
I feel like I can't do anything because I know nothing.
The family, desperate to find Audrii, who's known to love animals and make others laugh.
She has so many opportunities ahead of her, and she deserves every right to be able to reach those opportunities.
Until she...
So what she said there was very eye-opening to me. It was the fear, I think, when she said she deserves to have those opportunities, meaning that she should be alive and being able to chase her dreams, as if that's all she's ever wanted for her daughter. You could tell that there's a lot of it's coming from within, like that statement. Of course, like that would be a given, right? We all want our children to succeed, but that has been on her mind. It's been weighing heavy for her for a while, it seems. I think that that's important because a lot of people were in my opinion, misconstruing that as, oh, she thinks or knows that she's dead. No, I think that's coming from a place of guilt, and she really wants her to come back home so that she could, that's her guilt. That's just what I'm going to say. That's how I feel.
She's back home, safe. Matthews won't give up.
Right now, I'm empty.
Let me rephrase that. Not guilty of harming her. The guilt of maybe being a disappointment to her and wanting her to succeed and thrive. That's what I meant. Sorry.
And I'm not gonna be the same unless my baby is returned to me.
Investigators tell us they have other locations of interest as well, but we don't know where those are. We know that they do plan to be back here at Lake Livingston tomorrow morning, and any tips should be called in to the Polk County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah, I think that was a legitimate claim. I don't see anything weird about that. I do not believe at this point. Yeah, parental guilt. Perfect. That's what I meant. Sorry, y'all. I don't think that she's directly involved in knowing anything. Those messages seemed a little fishy, but I think it's more fishy on Steven's side, not her side. But again, we don't know everything. That's just how I feel at this moment, right? So here's the family, the uncle, I believe, of Audrii, who's speaking at the prayer service. This one is one that I find interesting.
All right, my name is Chris Booth. Spell it for us, please. CHRISBOOTHE. I'm here to speak for the family, the grandmother and the father and the man. Right now, we respect that we want Audrii home. We respect that everybody gives them some kind of privacy. And let them deal with this. This is a tragic incident. I realize.
Okay, see, I heard accident. So when I was reading the articles, I hadn't watched this yet. They put accident. One or two of them did. So, of course, my brain's like, red flag, accident? How do you know? Incident, meaning it could be a plethora of things. Incident is a very vague word that covers a lot of things. So I hate it when news does things like that and get the wording wrong. That's not what he said. They need to retract that and fix it, because that's how speculation starts. People actually do read the articles, guys. That sometimes there's golden information that was overheard by a journalist that wasn't heard by anybody else. It does happen. So I'm glad that I played this because I hadn't watched it yet. He didn't say accident. He said incident.
But everybody's talking a bunch of stuff on Facebook and stuff like that. I'm going to ask that if you don't know anything, don't say anything. all you're doing is hurting the family. It makes no sense. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know the circumstances. I do know Audrii is loved. I know Audrii is cared for. And I know Audrii loved her grandmother, her father, her brother, and family. I'm asking everybody to stop the BS. And I'm sorry for the language, the BS on Facebook and all the garbage stuff on Facebook. You don't know the circumstances, leave it alone. Audrii was well loved and everything like that. Audrii was well taken care of. Audrii is missed. We want her home. This right here is for Audrii. Again, please, if you're talking crap on Facebook, please just let it go. The family doesn't need that, and nobody needs it. Until you know what's going on and you hear from the sheriff department. Don't spread rumors. Okay?
Right. There is a difference between, I have to agree with him, and he has a right to defend himself and his family and the rumors going on. It's one thing to privately discuss among friends or a group that, hey, dad's sus, mom's sus, whatever. But when you come out swinging saying the mom must have done something or the dad knew about this, that, and the other without any proof, stop the shit. I mean, that's not appropriate. You know, even on these Facebook groups, and I enjoy reading, you know, speculation, but there is a point where it's just outright ridiculous. It's never going to go away. It's always going to be there. But he has a right to defend himself and his family. However, I will say that this happened because of not being attentive to the people around. And this is what unfortunately will happen to you, family members, when you allow that around you and you're not aware enough. I mean, that's just the facts. It's not hateful. It's the facts. So preventative is key.
If you have any questions, any information, please contact the Polk County Sheriff Department, the tip lines, everything like that. We want Audrii home. That's all I've got. I'm not answering questions or anything like that. But if y'all need it, if y'all got any tips, anybody's got any tips or anything like that, please contact Polk County Sheriff Department, Livingston PD. Contact any law enforcement to give them the tips. That's all I got. I'm not going to answer any questions. I'm sorry. Just comments from the family and everything like that. I appreciate y'all being respectful and not trying to go in there and pop out the family or anything like that. So, thank y'all again.
Fair enough. Uncle said, cut the doo-doo. I ain't having it. Stop it. You're not helping. Just call if you have tips. Credible tips, right? Okay. Let's go to the latest press conference. I think that'll be appropriate. And then we're going to get into Lena. Because there has been a lot of interesting things happen in the past two days on Facebook. So. Excuse the ad.
Today, divers searched the waters of Lake Livingston, while the Polk County Sheriff says today he was not giving up, that Audrii will be found alive. KLTV7's Vanessa Johnson has been at the site of the search all day and has the latest.
She deserves us taking our time. She deserves us making sure that we do it right. She deserves to have her voice to be heard.
A press conference for Audrii Cunningham yielded little new information on the 11-year-old's disappearance.
We have been working with investigators and volunteers, doing everything we can to bring Audrii home.
Audrii disappeared sometime Thursday morning, authorities believe around 6:45 a.m. Since her disappearance, only a backpack that is believed to have been Audrii's has been found near a dam at the lake. Authorities believe that Stephen McDougal, a family friend who was dropping her at the bus stop that morning, was the last person to have seen her. Authorities have not pressed charges against McDougal regarding Audrii's disappearance.
That we must not jump to conclusions. We want to make sure that we take all the evidence that we have collected. Yes, he may have been the last person with her, and yes, she is missing at this time. But we want to make sure that whatever evidence that we collect and that we place on an affidavit today is going to be something that's going to hold up in the court later.
McDougal lived behind the family's home in a camper and has taken her to the bus stop before. Authorities did say that McDougal has been questioned and has shown them a few areas he visited that morning. Despite very few leads, law enforcement and the community is not giving up hope.
I'm hoping and praying that she's still alive. I am not giving up hope that we'll be able to bring Audrii home.
Vanessa Johnson, KLTV 7 News.
Good little summary. I mean, I was reading the actual press conference notes. I mean, of course, there's little things like he's the main suspect, but honestly, what we know is that they're still searching for her. They're obviously looking in the river because her backpack was found near the dam, close by, and they believe that the backpack is hers. It was wet, which is very scary to me. I think that they should definitely keep searching the river. That's just my personal feeling, that because of what they found and they assumed to be her backpack and it's wet, I think they're on the right track, unfortunately. I mean, statistically, that's where I think she may be, is around water or in the water. I'm just going to be real. Shani, thank you for emailing or messaging me the link to those messages. I just picked out the ones that I kind of wanted to hone in on, but thank you, because I did need that link. I appreciate you, girl. All right, Lena, what's going on with Lena Khil? Well, they had a search near an apartment complex, not the one that she went missing in, but a little wooded area in between houses in this apartment complex that has like a walkway. And Dad came out swinging with, I want a new agency on this case. I want a new detective. I don't like how they're not following up with anything. The tip obviously led nowhere. They did do some testing and things like that. A tip came from allegedly someone in the jail. Let's listen to what Lena's dad, per the interpreter, says. It's wild. I was like, oh my God, he is pissed. And he is fighting, but I'm glad, because those things, when you hear those things, like, I don't care about being, appropriate anymore. This is bullshit. Like, that's what you want to hear a parent do and say, because they are done. They're tired playing. They're playing nice. They want answers. It's a good thing, in my opinion.
Morning. Good morning. So there is nothing very detailed. So only they talked with us, and they told us that we received a tip last night. So they are here since last night here. So they are waiting for some equipment. So maybe they will receive the equipment. So maybe the search will continue for tomorrow. We cannot share more information because we don't have. But they told us that we received tip last night. So they are here since last night here. And they're searching the area. So they're waiting for certain kind of equipment. So I
wanted to point out, when I listened to this the first time, people thought that the tip was in the morning. Obviously, the translator just said it was the night before. So it wasn't that morning, it was the night before. And allegedly, it was from someone who was in jail.
When they will receive, they will start their search.
Well, longer. Do you mind if we talk with you mic'd up about this ongoing search?
Maybe at the end, let them compile the search, then we can talk in details. But yes, because yesterday we had a meeting with the SCPD and FBI. So soon after that, they have this search party, and they receive the tip. So let them see what they get from the search, then we will talk. Okay?
Hello, I'm Pamela Allen. I'm the CEO of Eagles Flight Advocacy and Outreach. I'm also the advocate for the family of Lena. We just spoke with some of the investigators, SAPD investigators, who said that they received a tip. They've been here since last night, and they are waiting for equipment. When I asked them about what type of equipment, because we have so many that have the ability to dig, they said that's not the type of equipment that they were waiting for. When I asked again, what type of equipment, is it something that maybe can take an x-ray, they said yes. So they're waiting for something to be able to see what's under the dirt. They said they received a tip for this particular area, which is what we wanted to confirm with them as well. For those of you who've been following the case, you know that this was one of the first areas that we searched. Also, I know SAPD came back here and searched this area as well. But Dad has been through this area. I think it was the second week after Lena went missing. And just for those of you, I know some of you know this information. There was a meeting yesterday with Riaz Luong, another translator, a member of the Afghani Council, and myself, and it was just to exchange information and to ask that communication be more readily available for the family. And so that happened yesterday. Here we are, February 20th. Lena will be turning 6. Dad is very frustrated. The family is very saddened by the fact that she has been missing for 2 years. And when I asked Dad if we could do something to commemorate her birthday, his answer was, please, no more. He's just spent.
That's really, really sad. And I think, I get it. If he says no, I get it. So her birthday is today, isn't it? Wow. I actually found this. Let me pull it up here because it's her birthday. I just found this. Family of Lena Khil observing another birthday without her little girl. This was published this morning.
Lena Khil will observe another birthday without her.
Yeah, this is a story our community has followed very closely for years. Since she vanished today, the girl who went missing as a toddler in 2021 will be turning 6 years old. Lena's birthday comes just days after police launched a renewed search in her case.
However, that tip had no merit to it. Let's bring in KENS 5 Sarah Duran with more on the case. And Sarah, her family wants some changes in the investigation. Were they able to give any specifics? What do they want? What are they looking for?
Yeah, Barry, I'll get to that in a second. But you may remember 5 days ago, we were on the opposite side of this apartment complex behind me. That's where police were following on a tip, hoping to shed some light on Lena's case. And now, as we know, that tip turned out to be non-credible, but this caused major frustration for the family. They were very vocal at the scene about police and what they were doing there last week. Now, it's been more than 2 years since that little girl vanished from out of her mother's sight, and with close to no substantial developments in the case, her father says he's lost confidence with the current police leadership tasked with finding his daughter. And through a translator, he told us on Friday he asked SAPD for a new detective but was denied.
As I demand the changing or switching the case manager or the detective
Here we go.
for Lena's case, they make their own rules after that and say, no, we cannot do that, it's the law.
So we took that question to SAPD and we asked them about his request, and they told us in a statement, at this time we are not taking any follow-up questions on this case. Our detectives have followed up on all leads they have received and will continue to do so. Now, typically the family holds an observance for Lina's birthday here at the complex where she went missing from. However, this year they are not holding that public observance because the family representative told us the family is just not emotionally up for it this year. We're live near the medical center. Sarah Duran, KENS 5.
Well, that's really, really sad, but I understand where the parents are coming from. It's 2 years as of December. So maybe people should just not. People should just respect that and not do their own thing for her. I think that the family has the right to just say enough, like stop, and they can celebrate it in their own way. A lot of people would like to put, those candles out and a video and all that. I'm not going to. I'm going to respect that because it might be a little too painful today. They have a right to say, hey, and it's a boundary that I've even crossed in other cases that I'm going to respect today. So hopefully everyone else will do the same. It's hard for them. Let's respect that wish. Got a couple days off. I got nothing but time to catch up. Hellcat, that's good. I am about to wrap up, but please watch the replay. There's a lot of good information, I think, about the Audrii Cunningham missing girl in Texas. I really hope that they find Audrii very soon. Of course, the longer as time goes, the harder it becomes. And unfortunately, I do believe that the river searches, I hope they don't stop. Even if it's week 2, week 3, depending on what happened, depending on if she's was around that area, I don't know. But I hope the community keeps their eyes open. And as more data and geofencing data comes through for law enforcement, I'm sure that if Steven is the right suspect, they will figure it out. Even if his phone's off, surveillance camera footage will come through. It will happen. Just don't let it go cold. That's all we pray for. Of course, we want her alive and home and all that stuff. And it could be somebody else. Don't just put your eggs in one basket. Maybe there's multiple suspects here. You never know when a case will change it up on you. And that's pure evil, Brooke, right? I really, really hope and pray for her and her family and her safe return. Guys, thank you for being here. Much love to you. As I say, drink your water. Hug yourself, your fur babies, your grandbabies. Let's keep her name out here and Lena's name and face out there because they matter. And I'll see you on the next live. Bye, guys.